Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is the DRS Zone, and today we are diving straight into what might be the most fascinating and honestly the most frustrating paradox in all of Formula One right now.
It has to be.
The decline of Aston Martin and this just incredible tension building around their star driver, Fernando Alonso.
And it's so much more than just, a drop in performance on a timesheet. It feels like a psychological thing, an engineering failure that's just been laid bare for everyone to see.
Exactly. So we're going to look beyond the headlines and really dig into the realities that were revealed after the Brazilian Grand Prix.
That weekend was the perfect storm. They started so strong, you remember? That amazing one-lap speed. But by Sunday, poof, they'd just vanished.
And that's our mission today. We're going to dissect the sources, figure out what's behind that collapse, and it all centers on this one. I mean, this one shocking, cryptic quote from Alonso.
Yeah, when a driver like him, a two-time world champion, feels like he has to hold back. Something is seriously wrong inside that team.
The quote is, "I can't be totally honest or sincere about what actually happened."
I mean, what truths is he holding back? That's the question. And maybe more importantly, why?
Okay, let's start with the evidence. Brazil. Aston Martin, they had phenomenal pace early on.
Yeah.
Alonso finished Q2 and P1 first.
Right. Which proves the speed, the raw speed, was absolutely in that car somewhere.
But then Sunday comes, the lights go out for the Grand Prix, and that pace is just, it's gone, completely evaporated.
And that leads us right to his comment. He says, "I can't be totally honest, but I think everyone improves quite a bit." And that word, everyone, that's the key.
Right. This is his long-standing theory, isn't it?
It is. He believes the short sprint format is perfect for him because he can just jump in the car and hit 100% confidence almost immediately. He adapts faster than anyone.
So he gets the initial jump, he gets the advantage, but then the rest of the grid, the teams with, better sims, better development, they start to wise up.
They figure out the tires, they tweak the setup, and over the long haul of a weekend, they leave Aston Martin behind.
So it's not just that others get better, it's that Aston Martin actively fails to progress.
Or even just hold their ground, yeah. The decline in Brazil was shocking. They went from being in the fight for P1 on Friday to being, and I'm quoting here, clearly the last team by the race.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just him. Stroll disappeared too. It points to a huge systemic problem with how they optimize the car for a race.
And what about that strategy call? I mean, starting from 11th, and they decide to be brave and put on the hard tire. What was they thinking?
It wasn't bravery. It was just desperation.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Alonso had already said the soft tire was a total non-starter for them. It just didn't work. So their choice was basically medium or hard. From 11th, you have to gamble.
So the hard tire was just a desperate roll of the dice.
And the worst part is, the failure was so bad, so total, that all it did was teach every other team on the grid not to use it. They gave free intelligence to their competition.
That's brutal. And that kind of visible failure, it leads us straight into the next part of this. The conflict between Alonso's honesty and the team's ability to, handle it.
Absolutely. This is a culture problem now. It's not just about tire degradation anymore.
His comments, like when he called them the 9th team in the field, that stuff has to be taking a massive toll on the management.
For sure. You've got this huge investment, this brand new factory, and your star driver is on TV basically saying, "We're not good enough."
You can just see the friction. I remember that moment where Mike Crack was asked a question and he just cut in to say, "No, well, Fernando's not happy with anything."
That's pure management frustration bubbling to the surface. And in today's F1, which is all about PR perfection, that kind of bluntness hurts.
Especially from a two-time champion with 20 years of experience who's saying, "Look, we're doing this very badly. The team needs to wake up."
It's a public slap in the face, but, we have to give him some credit. He's actually holding back. I mean, this is maybe a tenth of how daring he used to be back in the day, like at Renault.
So he's learned a lesson.
He's learned that being too critical too often is counterproductive. It kills morale. But he still needs to vent that pressure, and he's smart enough to know that one targeted public comment can make the team react much faster than an internal email ever will.
So he's using the media as a tool. A pressure valve.
Exactly. We have to read between the lines with him now. Before, he was obvious. Now he's learned to just poke the bear enough to get it moving. He's activating the panic button without smashing the glass.
And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to the DRS Zone. If you want to dive even deeper into all the data we're talking about, we've got links and analysis on our channel, so make sure you subscribe and follow.
Okay, so let's get to the billion-dollar question. What is the root cause here, and what does it mean for that huge 2026 gamble?
Right. Is it just bad setups? Are their simulation tools broken? Are the factory updates just not as good as what McLaren or Ferrari can bring overnight?
What's interesting is how Alonso sometimes tries to blame himself to shield the team. He'll say, I give 100% in Q1 and then I have nothing left.
But that can't be the real story.
No, of course not. That's just him managing the situation. He might be at 100%, but a top team's job is to give him the engineering, the tools, to find 105% or 110%.
So what's the real technical problem?
I think the big takeaway from Brazil is that their simulator correlation is fundamentally broken. They can set up the car for one perfect flying lap, but the data for a long-run performance, for race pace, it's just not matching reality.
Ah, okay. So the simulator says the hard tire might work, but when they get on track Sunday, the car is set up for a reality that doesn't exist.
And you get disastrous tire wear, aero problems, and this frustrating performance drop-off over a race distance. It all tracks back to the factory.
And that failure points right at the biggest anxiety of all, the future. How can you trust this massive 2026 project, the new factory, the Honda engines, ADRIAN, NEWEY, if they're still fumbling these basic things now?
It's a terrifying risk. I mean, look at McLaren last year. They were a disaster before they figured it out. Aston Martin is trying to grow, but they're still struggling with basics like pit stops and race strategy.
And the NEWEY factor isn't some magic wand, is it?
It's not a silver bullet, no. Every top team has world-class engineers, and Aston's ambition for 2026 is it's huge. They want to build everything in-house, the chassis, the gearbox, everything.
Relying less on outside suppliers.
Exactly. So they have to hit every single target, integrate that new Honda power unit perfectly, and hope their new factory and new tools work flawlessly from day one. If any one of those pieces is out of sync,
It's another disaster. So really, the only way a team in 8th or 9th place can jump to the front is with a massive rule change like this.
it's their only window. 2026 is a blank page. Everyone starts from zero, but they have to get their house in order now to even have a chance of taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Alonso's talent is papering over some really deep cracks.
So we've got the internal tension, we've got the technical decline from bad correlation, and this massive long-term ambition. It just feels like the gap between Alonso's talent and the team's execution is getting wider every single race.
Which brings us to the final thought, kind of the provocative fear here.
With that.
The worst nightmare scenario for everyone watching is this. Fernando Alonso, who is still one of the fastest drivers on earth, does all the hard, painful, dirty work.
Yeah.
He sticks with them. He pushes them through the first few years of the new regulations. He forces them to get better. And then, right when the car is finally ready to win a championship, he leaves.
And that's all tied up in the driver market chaos for 2026 with Verstappen and everyone else. And of course, the one thing you can't escape, his age. He'll be 45 next year.
The hourglass is running out. His talent is timeless, maybe even better than it was 20 years ago. But time itself, that's the one thing he can't beat.
He's doing all the heavy lifting to build a foundation.
But will the team mature fast enough for him to enjoy the rewards? Or does the worst nightmare come true and he builds a winning car for the next generation to drive?
And that's the question we'll leave you with. Will Aston Martin get it right in time, or will they simply run out of it? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the DRS zone.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more F1 analysis. We'll catch you next time.